LaFreaky. Is that the name of the monkey on Lion King?
No, but that is the name of this episode. Because
LaFreaky.
we're back on the Until Next Week podcast
We're
day.
back. Samuel.
Yes.
What are you sipping on, baby?
I'm sipping on some coffee and some lemonade. You know, the classic duo. What do you got
You're
today,
disgusting.
Dane?
I want to be honest about
Well, you
that.
don't got Mountain Dew. What are you sipping on?
I betrayed the podcast.
Oh, what did you do?
And all the people. I got Goldberry body armor.
But are those pretty expensive?
I don't know. It was $1.99. It
Yeah,
has antioxidants in it, though.
But how can you afford that? Didn't you make a big purchase this week, Dane?
So, this past week, we had to say goodbye to the White Knight.
Oh, no.
That was the name of my old car.
Rest in peace.
The 2008 Chevy Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
And now, here's a new thing that we're going to put on our Instagram.
Okay, what we're
What
gonna
should
put
the
on?
name of Dane's car be?
Not the White Knight.
It's not white.
Could be the Dark Knight Rises.
It could be the Dark Knight
Okay,
Rises.
that's good. That's good.
Because it's black. It's all black. It has blacked out ribs.
Yeah. Hey!
The Dark Knight Rises.
Hey,
is
we got
good.
that
We
feedback.
have one supporter.
Dark Knight would be better, but I like the thought.
This is great
That's what I'm saying.
content for the podcast. This voices in the distance.
So this week was pretty good. I spent $21,000.
Man, you are so rich. The vending machine business must be thriving right now.
How's business? Booming.
booming?
Booming.
Okay.
We just put out new vision items. Yeah, that's all I want to say about my work.
Man, that's awesome. And I think before we go much farther, we need to point out that we have our first real guest.
We
on
have
the
a guest on the podcast. Who are you?
It's not just the name of or a person in the distance. It's actually someone recording. Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Abigail Palmer,
Yes, man.
also known as Abby Palmer,
Oh,
#1 hater of the podcast.
and you can just stay a little farther back from that mic so it doesn't get too loud.
No.
because we have new guests.
Don't try to contain her. Let her roam. She's
Dane's the one who moved the mic closer.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah,
I
because
wanted
I put the sound up high.
I'm sorry if I want women to express themselves, Samuel.
Wow. Okay. But yes, just so if you hear any other voices that are not mine or Dane's, it's because we do have Abby
If
on a
it's
podcast.
slightly girly.
For our 30% of our female audience.
Abby
Hopefully
would-
we can get that to at least 35%. We'll see.
That's true.
But until next week, we won't know.
Send this to all your besties and
Even
all
people
the
you don't like.
resties. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll send it to the K-Life small group.
Send it to them. They are all haters. Tell them I said that. And I guess they'll hear that.
Yeah. But Dane, also going back to your car earlier, do you know how keys work?
No, because this one doesn't have a key on it, man.
How does that? How do you use it then?
Well, apparently there's a button, and it's not like the button where it just like shoots out or whatever, like folds in.
Yeah.
This one's like concealed. It's like a concealable dagger, much like my pimp cane that I'm gonna get one of these.
And
days.
you just realized that it had a separate key on the keyless key fob today.
Yes,
So
I didn't know the key
what
came
what
out.
were you going to do whenever the battery died?
Get the other one.
Yeah, but what if you were like in the middle of
Stranded?
nowhere? Yeah.
Punch it.
Yeah, would you have like called somebody and then they would have to get your keys together for you?
No,
to get
because
into
I
your
don't
car.
trust people.
Okay, man.
But also, you know what's super lame about the car
Yeah.
so far?
Yeah,
I mean, everything's great.
you're driving it.
No. Abby, don't laugh at that.
Hey, it's proof. We do have a funny podcast. We have at least one laugh.
No.
Yes.
So, you know how like cars, like the back thing will open on like an SUV?
Yeah. It does
And-
good hand motion for the podcast.
Well, and then you can press a button and it closes it itself. It doesn't have one of those. I have to open it by hand and close it by hand.
I'm so sorry.
It's a 2020 and they
Yeah.
don't have it. My roommate's
Oh, wait,
2010.
It was COVID. That's why.
It was COVID. We had to make budget cuts.
Yeah, they had to cut back on something.
Abby, what's your middle name?
It starts with an L, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Lizzo.
Lima.
No,
Lemur.
it's actually a family name, so
Llama.
you're never gonna guess
Llama.
it.
Yes. Okay. Well, we will probably not guess it unless we use the rest of our podcast. just to
Leandre.
guess- Leongs.
Longs.
I don't have any. other-
LaMelo.
That's it.
It's probably-
I think
it's
is.
gotta be
Yep,
LaMelo.
That's good. That's good. But okay, so going from your middle name, why do you hate our podcast?
Go ahead and defend yourself.
Because just one more quick thing. Sorry for interrupting you. Dane said would have our #1 hater of the pod, as all you know from our past episodes, and that was Abby Palmer. So why do you hate our podcast?
All I gotta say is that Dane told me I was a hater
Mm-hmm.
because I would hit like the 30-second button whenever I would get bored or zone out during it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just to skip to see if there's more interesting parts.
There it is.
And not to mention, the first time we met, he called us frenemies. So then I just went from there, and I was like, we're just flat out enemies. We're not even frenemies.
It's because I called you Abigail instead of Abby.
So, and my girl Taylor Swift said the hater's gonna hate, and since I'm a Swiftie, you know.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. But even though you are a number one hater of the pod, we're glad that you still click through our episodes because some people don't even give it a chance.
Yeah.
And we think that you will give it a chance this week, whoever you are out
We're
there.
talking to you, Mia Weismer.
We're smart.
Where'sma?
She listens already.
I did make Bella listen to like 30 seconds of it.
Hey,
It was when you
Bella.
called her a hater.
Yeah.
let's go.
Bella, what's her real name? Isabella Gerteaser?
Isabella Rose.
Isabella
Gerteaser.
Rose Gerteaser. Hater.
You hate her also? How many girls
Man.
do you hate? First it was Mia, you said hater, and now you say,
Isabella Rose.
that was, I couldn't remember what the full name was.
Do you
yeah.
think Bob knows her real name?
I'm sure he
I'm
does.
sure he does.
I got $1. It says he doesn't.
You got $2 last week.
Yeah, I can't go $2.
So half
though.
of it can go.
That's all of our podcast funding.
Okay.
So I can't go that high.
Yeah, great content so far.
Abby, what do we do together on like a weekly basis?
Nothing.
No, it's.
Yes, we did.
I think you're talking about that soccer league that both of you are
Oh,
in.
yeah.
I'm not on this team.
The soccer league.
Yeah. So do you want to tell us more about that, Abby and Dane?
Yeah, we're just a dominant force.
We've had a couple of games. The first game was better than our last game. I've gotten stuck in goal.
How do you get better from perfection?
That's a good point.
I haven't seen your games, but I'm assuming you don't lose any, right?
Oh, yeah, never.
First game we lost 15-6.
Okay.
First game we lost 16-8.
I lied to you.
Okay,
16
okay.
Last game we lost 11-1.
Oh, it was 11. I thought it was 9.
How do you only score one
It was
goal?
11-1.
Hey, guess who
and
scored that
Dane
one goal?
scored it,
I did.
surprisingly.
Was it kind of the end when they bring in like the subs, like the people's like kids come in? And
I
it's, yeah.
No, because I almost played the whole time because I'm a guy.
Well, also this team we played was way more in
Huge.
shape than us.
They were huge.
and like
dude.
the guys were giant.
Yeah.
Dane, so you said you play more because you're a guy, but you lost 11-1. So
What's your point?
are you? Maybe you aren't. Maybe you shouldn't be playing that much.
Let me be honest. The girls on their team were saucing me up.
So with the co-ed team, 2 girls have to be on the field at all times.
Yeah.
And Dane
And
does
so
not
we've
count
just
as
made
one
it a
of them.
rule. Me and Mia, everyone, all the girls have collectively agreed that 2 girls stay on the field and like the rest are guys on the field because they're more athletic.
You might need to switch that plan up going forward because.
So just don't have Dane start.
Yeah, it sounds like you're losing a lot.
I
either
scored
way.
her one
It's
goal. What do you mean?
because Joe didn't start and you started.
Yeah, Joe showed up late, and then I was like, Joe, get in here.
Oh yeah, former sponsor of the pod, Joe.
Yeah, former sponsor of the pod, Joe Hendricks. Joe, if you're listening, go ahead and text us Shazam
Yeah, Shazam
at 573
573.
beep 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 5614.
Yep. Or you can just message us. I can't talk. Message us on the Until Next Week podcast Instagram because you do have our numbers, but we would rather want you to message on there
So
and
we
then
can
rate us
post
5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
If you don't,
Please.
let's start giving the people a ransom.
Oh, if you don't rate
if you
us,
don't, we're gonna post about you on the pod.
and then we'll have you on as a guest.
yeah,
There we go.
probably.
That'll get you back.
Well, you just made another promise. Mm-hmm. Just like you being late every week to the podcast.
Hey, I can not defend myself here. I was late, but I did let Dane know that I would be late. So that's
Abby,
all I
can you
have to
confirm that
say.
he was late?
I can confirm he was late.
Dane, can you confirm that Abby was late?
Abby was 3 minutes late.
Yes, but I was only 15 minutes late.
Abby was also driving in circles out there.
Because
You went down and back.
Dane
down.
just sent me the location. I didn't have the house number, so I didn't know if it was this red house or the next house over.
You didn't send her what the
He
address
just sent
was?
me the location.
I just
Okay.
send
So I didn't
me
have a house
your
number to go off.
location.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man.
So tell us about yourself.
Wow.
Like, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest
Or
pet.
Steve.
Big pet peeve. I think Dane also put biggest red flags in boys.
/ boys are gross.
Yes. Dane wrote it. I read it.
Biggest pet peeve.
Yeah.
Probably really, really messy people.
Okay. Okay.
I'm more of like a neat person.
Like
Like
you.
everything has a spot.
That's true.
So my sister, complete mess.
You told me a story about it last night.
I did tell you a story about that last night.
What's her name?
Her name is Ellie.
Oh, Ellie Palmer.
Yes.
I met her once.
So this is way back when I used to be neighbors with Samuel.
Ooh.
Back in the day.
So that house, yeah. My sister and I shared a room when we were on the top level, and she was just so messy, and I was just getting really, really annoyed. So I moved her out. I packed all her stuff up.
Wow. Have you seen her since?
And, well, I moved her into a different room.
Okay.
Yeah. Moved her into a different room in the house because I had enough. And I basically told my parents, and my parents knew I was frustrated. And I just basically told them I'm moving Ellie out, and I moved her out.
You
Wow.
took all of her stuff and moved her
I
downstairs.
took all of her stuff and moved her into the basement.
To the basement with Dobby.
And now that's part of her testimony.
It is.
Like, it is. It's like, yeah, my sister, she was just done with me. She moved me out. I couldn't
Okay.
do anything else. Yeah.
Love her, though.
He's a perfect 10. But
Thanks, Dane.
not you. You're a perfect 11.
Oh, thank you again.
Plus, you're tall.
Okay. Now you can go back into your question.
So, he's a perfect 10. But his room, like, you can't see the floor because all the clothes are on it. But he loves Jesus. He's tall.
He's a great
So
cook.
this is like he's perfect in every way, but
Obviously.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
This Dane took it his own way.
So
I did
am
the
I allowed
TikTok
to
trend.
like pick up, you know, and like
You
if I
can.
pick up, how long does it take for it to be a mess again?
man.
6 hours.
Enough for
Unless
one
you do
house
it at night,
Does he
then it'll
help
be
pick
clean
up?
the next
Since
day.
he's perfect in every way, he would help pick up.
No,
It's just-
because that's why it's messy.
He helps pick up, but it just keeps regenerating and generating. And
Yeah.
then when you have kids, it gets worse because the
Okay.
kids have half his genes too, and they pick up that from their father, who let's just call him
Well,
Evan.
So you just already agreed with. You said he's perfect in every way, but then you said they got married and had kids, so that means it was okay.
What was okay? Oh, if they got married, she was
so-
okay with it.
Yeah, so that's not
Never
part
mind,
of the
they're
question.
not married, but you still have kids.
No, oh no.
No.
You're right.
No,
you don't.
no,
you
no.
don't. You
That's
don't.
not biblical.
Dane.
The K-Life kids come over and they throw all of the stuff on the floor with this guy Evan.
Well, it's just the bed. If it's just the bedroom floor, that's what you said.
He leaves his drinks out too.
No, you can't just keep adding.
He doesn't clean his dishes.
It's just
Perfect.
all of his clothes. That's what you said. So I think I
Fine.
can make it work if he loved Jesus. If everything about him was perfect, besides that, I can make that work.
What if he's perfect in every way, but he denounces scooters and said you have to as well, or else he won't marry you?
That sounds
That-
way better.
This
scenario.
sounds like it's just not going to work.
See? It's not going to work.
Okay.
It's not a better scenario because coffee is disgusting.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
It is disgusting.
Why don't you like dirt water?
That's what I'm saying. It's dirt water. It tastes like you went outside, dug up some dirt, put it in a blender, and then said, "Hey, I ran some hot water over it.
Yeah.
It must be good now."
And that's what I'm sipping on right now.
Yeah, you disgust me, but in a good way. So, other than
Oh.
uncleanliness,
Okay.
what would be another reason, other than the obvious, that you would find a boy gross or a red flag?
If he was negative all the time,
That's true.
Negative.
Negative.
Yeah.
Negativeness.
Yeah.
Negative is.
I hate that.
yeah.
I hate
Another big
negative
pet
people.
peeve.
What
Yeah.
if he's toxic?
If he's toxic, that's just a red flag in general.
Yeah, Dane.
you.
Dane, this is actually a therapy session for you because
What?
per our first episode, you said your goal was to become more toxic this year.
That's
and
true.
This
It's
is
'cause he's a
in-
redhead.
Yeah, is it? Oh, this is an
Now
intervention.
we have some racial slander on the
Oh,
podcast.
we're not going this route again. I don't want to edit everything you say. There's a lot of stuff I've had to edit out because Dane goes on rants, and if we kept Kanye West times 10, that's all I say.
Oh,
Wow.
my goodness. But no.
But no,
What was the thing?
what was the thing?
was
I
the
don't. I
question?
can't read your mind.
What was the question?
You are asking about red flags.
Yeah, red flags. Oh, I'm toxic. Yeah, my goal of 2022 is to be more toxic.
Yes.
And somehow I became less toxic.
How can we get your toxicity's levels up?
Actually, I remember.
Ashley, yes?
No, actually.
Okay, actually.
Actually, I was like, do you guys think I became more toxic this year? I asked somebody else. They're like, actually, no, you were less toxic this year. And I was like, wait a second. Does that mean you thought I was toxic before? And then now I'm not? And they're like, no, but la, 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 la. And that's exactly what they said.
Yep. And Dane, I know you're not trying to be toxic, but I would
Yeah.
like you to get a little closer to the microphone.
That's not
so our
toxic
fans
enough,
can
dude.
hear you. Thank
No.
you. There we go.
So, Samuel, if you were a boy, and
That would be nice.
that would be nice. I'm a real boy. What would be your biggest red flag in a woman?
I did not know what you were about to say there.
What did I say?
You just said it strangely.
It is with my Hebrew accent.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, one of the things you said, like being a complete slob, would not be great because
Not great.
I tend to be a cleaner person, and if you're just a complete mess, it's rough. That's bad.
Emotionally or
Oh no.
actuality?
We'll just say actuality. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, this is
Good.
great content.
Good answer.
Yep.
I like that. Anyways, so Samuel was late again. We already knew that. So, how can we reach this level of the podcast for you?
What?
Why did you write that?
What are you reading?
I'm reading right under biggest red flags in boys.
I think
boys
you
and girls.
added stuff.
I didn't add
like
that.
You definitely added that.
yeah,
Okay.
no, I think you took something else off because we were going to talk about Abby's favorite podcast. Abby, do you want to tell us about your favorite
Abby,
podcast?
what's your favorite podcast?
Oh my goodness. The Ladies in Waiting podcast.
Should we listen to
Those
that?
are our
I
competitors.
think you should listen to that.
What would that give us insight into?
So the two people who perform or do the talk on the podcast.
host.
Yeah, the host. That's the word I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
One of them goes by Kitty.
Meow.
Dang it. Kitty,
The
if you're
other,
listening.
the other one goes by Star.
Oh my goodness.
So are you saying
Star is actually her real name, though. Fun
Okay.
fact. Kitty, her real name is Catherine. But Kitty was my Bible study leader at camp. So this is how I found out about this podcast.
Kitty?
Man, so what would Dane's nickname be? How could we do that here? I mean, obviously, we've talked about Nemo in the past, but is there something else that would be good for him that would make you listen to our podcast more consistently?
Like
Or get the females to listen? We just need to get our female listeners up.
Abby, if you were a girl, what would you say this podcast needs to have in order for a female following to desire to follow it?
Great question.
Yeah, yes. Great question,
Should we
Dane.
talk about chocolate? We've already talked about Taylor Swift. What more do you want from us?
Taylor Swift.
We talked about her a
Great
lot.
topic.
Multiple episodes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Big fan
Great
of
for
pod.
the Swifties.
It's
But
great.
those who are not Swifties.
Which is very rare.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I have
I
several
actually know
friends.
quite a bit of people who don't like her.
Her non-Swifties?
Oh, yeah.
That's redonkulous.
Yep.
But, okay. So talk about Taylor Swift more?
Sure. I would listen
Okay.
see.
Oh,
to
Okay.
see what you would say about her.
We already talked about it, Abby.
But I didn't listen.
okay. So talk about Taylor Swift more, which was what we've done. We'll get more listeners and then get some catchy nicknames.
Sure, catchy nicknames.
Okay.
Samuel threw out a suggestion that we would do a K-Life Hot or Nah segment.
That is not. No, you just made this up. But would that help get more listeners?
Trent May, hot.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah, you can do his voice.
Oh,
Hey,
hold on.
Dane, how
I'm-
you doing?
Hey, man. How you doing, man? I'm not going to comment on the ladies, only the men.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Who's
another dude?
Jake Pridgeon.
Jake Pridgeon, bum. Absolute bum. His birthday was 2 days ago.
Yep.
The real question is why is he not playing soccer?
His meniscus is all messed up or something.
So
That's what I
Gesundheit.
said. I said, are you an athlete or
that's
not?
what I tell him every time. I'm like, Mia's knees are messed up.
Mia's knees are way more messed up than his.
And Patrick Mahomes has the biggest messed up knees of all.
I thought it was
No.
his ankle.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
also a bum. Anyway, you getting me all riled up. Abby, we did something last night. What did we do?
We went to a movie night
Yeah, we did.
for K Life.
Yeah, we
Super
did.
K.
You know.
So, what movie did we watch?
We watched The Lion King, which wasn't the best option that we had to
What
choose
was
from.
the best option?
Tangled.
Well, what were all of the options?
All of the options. So, first up on the lineup, we had Encanto versus
Trash.
Lion King. And Lion
Goated.
King won that round.
Okay, so that
Obvious.
means Lion King was better. Okay.
It is better.
And then the next lineup, we had Moana and Tangled.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids picked Moana over
Which
Tangled.
means
didn't they?
Moana is
Yeah.
a better option because it's for
And
the
they
kids.
lost. Tangled lost by 1 point.
Yeah, but that means it was worse. And then Lion King beat Moana.
Yeah.
Lion King
So-
Sure did.
demolished it.
So you're saying that Lion Ing
by
was
like 2 points.
Well, let's ask the question everybody's thinking of right now.
Yeah.
I clearly have influence amongst the kids in K-Live. Or in,
Did
Super
you
K.
want Lion King?
Yeah, I wanted Lion King.
Okay, there we
and
go.
I said, everybody vote for Lion King. And then what did we watch last night?
You look the most like Simba out of anybody
I
else.
know. It's, again,
You
the
got
race of
most of the main
kids.
going.
I do have most of the main going. I want to shave my beard, but I'm a man of commitment.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do
Totally.
it till around April-ish.
Okay.
So, because I'm like, I wanted it in the cold months, and then I want to be clean shaven in the warm months,
Mhm.
and then transition into my always beautiful mustache.
Yeah.
Abby, how do you feel about mustaches?
Not a fan.
Why? Miles Teller is a beautiful man.
Oh.
Oh, you're calling him mid?
Yeah. I think she's just saying she doesn't like mustaches.
Pretty sure she just called Miles Teller mid.
Okay.
I want to watch the drum one. What's that movie with him when he's playing drums?
Drums.
Is it Whiplash?
It was a Top Gun.
No, he's not playing drums in Top Gun.
He could be.
Only The Brave he's great in.
Mhm.
I think it's Whiplash. Whiplash
Okay.
is one about him being a drummer or something
Yep.
like that. Anyway, so yeah, we watched The Lion King, and as you know from previous episodes of the podcast,
Episode number 4.
Episode
Lion
4.
King slander. Please listen to it if you haven't. That way you'll be all caught up to this pod. But yes, Dane, what were you going with?
I'm about to go in on it. Because Scar is the rightful king of Pride Rock.
Yep.
And no one can convince me otherwise, and I have facts and figures to prove it.
But this just in, Abby does not believe this is true. Abby, would you like to tell us why?
I would love to.
Dramatic pause.
To start off, he grabs what's the bird's name again?
Toucan.
Mewtwo.
No, it's not Mewtwo.
Anyways, he starts to eat
Zaza.
the bird. Zazu.
Zazu.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so you already know he's
Miles
awful.
Teller.
He did
Anyways,
try to eat him.
And then, he sets up Simba in the gorge,
In the gorge.
has the hyenas.
We love a toxic
awful
king.
creatures. And then
Awful
he
creatures.
causes a stampede and basically kills his brother, his own brother.
Mhm.
Why would you want a king who kills his own brother?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Family.
Well, it's because we're not talking about that part. We're talking about, in all originality, lions. They're Eastern African lions. I watched a whole video over this.
Of course you did.
And then the darker mane means that he has more, and let's just say what it is, people, testosterone flowing through his body. Which means he would be stronger and bigger. And then in order to determine kingship of this pride, Mufasa and Scar would have fought for the pride leader.
Okay.
And then whoever lost would have been ran off, like off the reservation.
Yep.
And it would have been whoever won and all of the lionesses. Which brings us up to our second point. Nala and Simba are cousins.
I mean,
That's kind of how it all goes, though.
yeah, they're lions. We don't need to go into this too far for our younger audience.
They
Yeah.
are lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin it for you. Also, the tufts on the back of his elbows or whatever
Yeah.
indicate that he is a bigger, stronger lion.
Mm-hmm.
But in the movie, Scar is smaller than Mufasa
Yeah, I know. And also
because he's weaker.
inherently
Inherently.
coming into the movie, how long? Like not before he actually did any evil things. How long until it took you for you to realize that he was an evil person? Right away, right? And also, lions' prides don't work like a monarchy, like they portray in the movie.
Yep.
Which America is not under, by the way. So, I don't want to hear it from nobody. Also, we just got a Venmo.
Hey, what's the Venmo for?
It's from Jake Trustin Art.
Hey, thank you, Jake.
Podcast sponsorship. You now have $27.25 in your Venmo account.
How much? Well, he gave us $27.25.
No, he gave us 25 cents.
Oh, let's go. That's $2.25 towards the pod. I have not seen a penny of it because Dane has got it all, but he needs it because he did buy that new car.
I did buy a
The
car.
Dark Knight Rises.
Honestly, that'd be a great name for it.
That's what
But
I'm saying.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to pledge all of today's sponsorship money,
25 cents.
25 cents, to Abigail Palmer. We're good. You heard it here first. If you come on the podcast, you will be compensated.
Yes, at least
If
a
we're
quarter
Venmo'd. If we're
during the
Venmo'd.
episode
During the
from
episode.
Jake.
From Jake.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Abby, how do you feel about winning that prize money?
Jake, if you're listening, if you want to send like one more dollar, more than, so I can get more than Dane.
Wow. Wow.
But thank you.
We're thankful for our sponsors. We don't need extra money all the time, but if you want to give it to us, we'll take it. But thank you just for being you.
That was great. I love that.
Yep.
You did it again?
Oh, did we?
Another 25 cents.
Yeah.
Abby's rich. She got 50 cents.
I can't believe it.
Let's go.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, well, as you know, we can read the future.
We
And-
are prophets.
Yeah.
Abby, can you confirm that we're prophets?
I cannot.
Oh,
Okay.
Abby.
But
Sorry.
I knew you'd be coming over
the
today.
reason we said we can read the future, if you remember last week, we said we recorded after the Super Bowl. That was a lie. We recorded before the Super Bowl.
We lied to the people.
We did, but our predictions were pretty accurate. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, the Chiefs, they won. And I know Dane was very happy about it as a Cowboys fan.
I have a rant to go on.
Do you want to go on it now or later?
Maybe after.
After.
Okay, yeah.
We'll
So
go after.
so the Chiefs won, and Dane and I both predicted they would win, so we read the future there.
Naked
Additionally,
avocados.
so another thing we predicted was we said there'd be a streaker on the field, and while there was not a streaker, there was an avocados commercial with a ton of naked people on it. So I think we basically got that prediction correct.
What was on it?
Naked people, yes. But they did have avocados ahead of them to cover. Additionally,
Oh yeah, the Garden of Eden one.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
does that make sense now?
Jesus gets us.
Yes. They had those commercials as well.
Yeah.
And if we had a different... Yes, yeah.
But Jesus does get us.
He does,
so.
yes. Additionally, we said 4 touchdowns in the first half for the Eagles. They didn't have 4 touchdowns, but they had 24 points. They're only 4 points off. That's a
They
pretty...
have 3 touchdowns.
That's
so
a pretty good prediction.
3.5-ish
We
touchdowns.
basically got that right. Mahomes, we said he would break both of his legs, and he didn't break them both, but he did injure him again.
He had a phantom ankle injury
Mm-hmm.
again.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
We're going. That's part of my rant later.
yeah, and we said that would happen. It happened. And then additionally, yeah, we just guessed everything would be right. They were behind by a lot. They came back. They won. But one thing I am disappointed about is because Mahomes can still walk, Chad Henne will not be the new quarterback going forward. Instead, he retired.
He did retire. Yeah.
Dane, you
I was
wanna go into
gonna
that?
say Chad Henne, great career. It seemed like you always had to come in. It was never like, oh, the Chiefs were up by 40. Let's just put him in there. It always was like, we need 3 first downs to win this game,
Yeah.
Chad. Go get him.
Yeah.
And the only thing I have to say is, Abby, what was your analysis of the game?
Well, the parts I watched,
Okay.
I was doing homework because my professor had a surprise assignment for us to do.
Ooh.
On the Super Bowl?
It was like during the week. She's like, as you know, your tip 1 sheet or whatever, that's what it was called, is due this week. And all of us were like, what?
That's so lame.
So I was doing that during the Super Bowl for the most part. So
So
but it was a
that's your
pretty good
analysis.
game, the parts I watched.
Okay.
Pretty good game.
Nice. Well, besides...
All right, people. I'm here to tell you something.
Okay. You don't need to talk too loud, Dane.
This is my rant. So, the whole game was rigged and scripted, as we all know. And
Okay.
because, first off, Mahomes gets his injury there at the end of the first half. And with 1:30 left to play, the Eagles are getting the ball back just enough time so that he can go in the locker room and
Yep.
work it out. Then come back out, play excellent football, and then come back out and win the Super Bowl. And it's like, yeah, of course, that's on page 7 of the script.
I
that they
want
sent out
to
for the
say
season.
something really quickly about your rant. I
ahead.
actually heard that it was worse for him that they had a longer break during the half because that's not as good for your leg. It's better to have a quick turnaround.
So you're telling me he wasn't moving in the locker room?
Nope.
He wasn't getting treatment in the locker room?
He took a nap. That's what I would do.
No, he went into the locker room, came back out like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
And then kept playing. Also, again, it's not an ankle sprain or a high ankle sprain. Abby's parents both agreed with me.
Yeah.
that it's not a high ankle sprain.
Did you talk to Patrick Mahomes directly?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's cool. Just wanna
And
make
when
sure.
did you talk to my parents?
After the soccer game.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually did. I was like, because they had to play it up. Oh, yeah, he played on one leg.
He did.
And I was like, no, that's not even close.
Have you seen Stranger Things?
No, I don't want to
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
that.
There's a character. Have
voodoo.
you seen it?
I've seen like an episode.
Do you know the character known as Hopper?
Who?
No.
That's actually Patrick Mahomes.
Dang it. Dang it. But I saw somebody, one sportscaster.
Leave a 5-star review if you got that joke. Thank you.
Dang it. A certain sportscaster online said that this was equivalent to when Tiger Woods played with a torn ACL and a broken back. And
Or
I'm like,
when that
that's just not
guy
even close.
from Louisville broke his leg and the bone stuck out of during a March Madness like 10 years ago.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, same thing.
Kevin Ware.
Yep, same thing.
Ugh.
Wear and tear.
No, or Paul George. Anyway, those gives me heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
But You cannot convince me that he had a high ankle sprain. No one in the history of ever has
And
ever
I wasn't
played
trying
with it.
to. I said he broke his leg.
Yeah. He, like, you would have thought that he broke his leg. And in the post game, he's standing there just fine. Like, nothing ever happened.
Well, at that point, you have all the adrenaline, and you're just feeling good that
Well,
the season's done, and you get to see a little bit
sure.
less of your brother Jackson.
What about the full week of practice he had? He didn't miss a practice. So we've been lied to, led astray,
Bamboozled.
bamboozled, hoodwinked, and dang near flim-flammed.
Man, you heard it here.
And we're not even going to get into how the refs stole the game from the Eagles.
Because Rihanna is actually the one who stole the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Abby, we need you to discuss this more because as our expert female on the podcast, we need you to talk about females.
It
on the
looked
podcast.
like Rihanna gained a baby.
It did. She looked very pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and
We can't say that as males, but you're allowed to, so that's why we brought you on the pod.
gotcha.
Yeah. For
Tell
that
us,
one point.
Because I'm a hater.
tell
Yeah.
us about how you thought she performed with a baby bump, and anything else you thought about that performance.
Her outfit was very interesting,
It was
but
disgusting.
at least she was covered
Yep.
That's true.
because I'm assuming it was because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
But her backup dancers, they looked like marshmallows.
Yeah, I always
Or
think
snowmen.
or Oompa Loompas, like
or Palumpas.
all those. Yes.
The red suit could kind of give you the Mrs. Claus vibe, and
And then there are a bunch of like snowflakes,
yeah, the snowflakes.
just like
Snowmen.
our generation. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Your dang kids with your no job and your hippie hair smoking the hippie weed.
Man, they're a bunch of snowflakes. Okay, but continue.
But my family and I were actually playing a game,
Mm-hmm.
and the goal of the game is there's a question or a topic, and you're trying to write down the same exact answer as everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So one of the questions was, what's the worst genre of music? Mm-hmm. Most of us put rap.
Okay.
And then Sweet Grandma.
Disagree,
mine,
but okay,
sweet,
keep going.
Sweet Grandma was like Rihanna. And then it was because she had just watched the halftime show like a few days ago.
Shout out to
And we
Sweet
were
Sweet
just like,
Grandma.
okay, Grandma. But shout out to Grandma. Love her.
Shout out to Grandma, maybe Palmer.
Palmer.
Yep, Grandma Palmer.
Grandma
Shout
Palmer.
out.
Yep.
We know you listen to the pod. Man,
Send it to your grandma.
we talked about her on the podcast, so she can hear all of this rambling right here.
What are your parents' names?
Bob and Sandy.
I think I knew that.
Okay.
Yeah.
SpongeBob and
I've
Sandy
shaken,
Cheeks.
Well, no.
Yep, there
I've
we go.
shaken Bob's
You
hand
knew
several
Bob,
times.
you knew
yeah.
Bob.
Me and Bob have had conversations.
Yep, that's cool.
Bob's cool.
They used
Yeah.
to talk to Bob's ear off a lot.
When? Just that once.
Pitch Perfect night.
Yeah, that I didn't watch. And then we had it again last
Because you
night.
talked his ear off.
Well, I was presented with an option there. I could either let your dad go hang out by himself or talk to him or hang out with all of the girls that were just there watching Pitch Perfect.
Dane goes over to Abby's house a lot to watch movies, just so he can talk to her
He
dad.
really doesn't.
Yeah.
Not-
He's
you're-
been there once.
Yeah,
It's only
I've
been one
been there
time?
once.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then her dad thought I was not a proficient male because I had a headlight out.
Man, and then you got a new car.
Yeah.
So you need to drive back and be like, hey, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I'll be like, Bob, put her there. And then he's going to be like, hey, you got that
I'm proud of
headlight
you, son.
replaced. And I'll be like, nah, I just threw the old one away. It went to E, and I figured that meant end. And so I threw it away. Just bought this one, too. Put it on the credit card. Can you believe people just give you free money?
Yeah. Oh, that would have gone over great.
I can't wait.
So speaking of all that,
Yeah.
this past week I was working in the St. Louis area, and you know
Why?
because I had to work.
Tell
But
him no.
huh?
Tell him no.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
I tell my bosses that. Tell them they don't control me.
Yeah, yeah. But I was gonna say that speaking of your new car, I also got to rent a car for that trip.
What kind of car?
I rented a Charger,
Oh.
which is way better than an 03 GMC Yukon XL Denali because it actually runs. And, you know, that's always the first thing you want with a car. Next, it accelerates, which is nice because 03 does not go very quick.
You can get 0 to 60 faster than Abby can fast forward through our podcast.
Yeah, it's so quick. Yeah, it's nice. Additionally, it has heat.
Oh,
Heat's a nice thing to have in a car.
Well, I mean, if you're rich,
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not rich, but I mean, I got to drive that for a week, and I felt like I was on top of the world.
at Samuelson 22, send money.
No, it's still at Samuelson.
It's just
Venmo.
Samuelson.
Or you can just keep sending money to Dane. Either or.
I like money.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about the end of my story there.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and then also, so you rented your car, and then we love Bob, we love Sandy, we love Grandma Palmer, and Abby, we're gonna give you the distinct honor of telling us our 3 sponsors of the week.
Wow, I'm so honored. So number 1, of course, we have Jesus.
Jesus. Again,
Love
Again,
Jesus.
Back to back to back to back to back to
he
back.
never
to back.
loses.
He never
He
loses.
keeps going. You know how Michael Jordan won 6 championships? He had to take a couple years off. Jesus, he didn't take any years off.
Well,
he kept going.
He took a
He
day
took,
off.
He took 3 days off. And
yeah, but then he came back.
Yeah.
He came back.
Yeah, like
Have
he
you ever
promised.
you ever heard Barney Stinson's story of how Jesus invented the high five?
I've not seen this or heard this, but do you want to tell us more really quick?
So it's on How I Met Your Mother,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes. It's all about the episode of you're supposed to wait 3 days to call a girl,
Mm-hmm.
which I do not agree with, by the way. However,
4 days.
no, less.
Okay, I didn't know.
But
Toxic traits.
well, you should call her. Actually, ask her out in person, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be passive.
Yep, for all the boys listening, which are mainly 21 to 27-year-olds, you know
Yeah.
what to do.
Ask her out in person. Say, I like you. I would like to take you on a date. This time at this place, if you're okay with that.
Yep. And
And-
Dane, you know better than anybody, right?
No, I don't. Yeah. But that's Jonathan Pecluda's advice, and that would be my advice.
This is Barney's advice.
Well, that was that. But Barney's advice on how Jesus invented the high five was you wait 3 days to call a girl.
Yep.
And so he said you wait 3 days because Jesus waited 3 days to come back from the dead, because he's not going to come back on a Friday because everybody's getting off work and everything and working the loom. He's
Okay.
not going to come back on a Saturday because everybody's running their errands and everything. And everybody's going to be like, hey, Jesus, like, how's it going? He goes, how's it going? I died yesterday. They're like, look pretty alive to me, bro. Okay. And then so he waited till Sunday because everybody's already in church, and everybody's like, oh no, Jesus is dead. And then he busts in through the back doors. Everybody goes crazy, and then that's when he invented the high five, according to Barney.
And that was our first sponsor of the pod, Jesus. Abby, do you want to go into our second sponsor of the pod?
I would love to. Our second sponsor is Jake Trustenart.
Oh, Jake Trustenart.
Jake Trustenart.
Wow. Oh, we can hear him in the distance clapping. Wow. Wow, that's great stuff right there. Yeah, his art is still all around this house. He's sponsoring the pod. He gave 50 more cents today. If you buy some more of his clap again. If you buy more of his priceless art, which you can on his website, which we might put a link to, then
Jake Trustin Art.
is that all?
JakeTrustin.com.
JakeTrustin.com. You can buy some of his art. He has a book. He's an author. You can buy that.
Yeah, it's called Organic Reconstruction.
Great book. He signs the copies. Buy more of that. We'll get more money on the pod. So
That's
you know what
true.
to do. Until next weekers, do what you do.
Do what you do, just like the Swifty Nation.
Yes, yes, yes. And then finally,
Our last sponsor is Scooters Coffee.
Scooters.
Yeah.
We love scooters.
yep.
Abby,
Raise the cup.
what's your fascination with scooters? How are you affiliated or related to scooters?
Well, first off, I just want to say Scooters is way better than Starbucks. I don't care
agree.
what you
That's
say.
not a hot
I don't
take.
know that I'm-
I
Because
would agree.
Starbucks tastes burnt. It just tastes gross.
I mean, I hate coffee, so
But let's just say I know a guy.
you know a guy.
I know a
You
guy.
know a guy? Okay, so Abby knows a guy.
Abby knows a guy.
Yeah,
and you
so we
come
can-
into my house, he gets my wife's name right.
Okay, yep, yep.
But yeah, Scooters. Don't go to Starbucks. That's a national chain. Go to Scooters here in town. I don't know which ones. If you had to guess which ones, like location wise, which ones should we go to? Which one's your favorite? I should say.
Go to any of them.
Go to any of them.
Go to
Yeah,
any
there
of
we go.
them.
Yeah.
them, yeah.
You heard it here first. Go to any of the Scooters Coffee in Springfield, Missouri, and you'll be good to go.
I hate coffee. Are there any alternate options for me there?
There are many. There's smoothies.
I like smoothies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they like chocolatey?
And they're fruit smoothies.
Are you calling me
usually-
fruity?
I usually get wild berry.
Ooh.
But there's also like a mango one.
Okay.
My mom likes a matcha green.
I know
I
your
don't know if you
mom.
have like matcha
Okay.
tea. Or matcha. It's like matcha something.
Have I had matcha?
Do they have water there?
Of course they have water.
Oh man, that's great.
The hydrogen
nice.
and 2
Yeah.
oxygens,
It's
baby.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like they got the Riz.
We have
I
some
got the
breakfast
Ritz.
sandwiches, some breakfast burritos,
Ooh.
some muffins, cookies,
I want a burrito.
some cake bites.
I want a burrito.
Yeah, just don't whisper so quiet when you say it, Dane.
Well, here's the thing. Scooters, if you're listening, don't be afraid to sponsor us.
yeah, it could be our next sponsor of the
I
pod.
think you would like the candy bar blender.
What's that do?
Well, it's a candy. Like I think it has some coffee in it, but like it's basically like a candy bar drink. So like you don't taste the coffee.
Okay.
I would try it,
Okay.
but if it tastes like coffee, I really don't like it.
Okay.
I tried coffee again last week at church because the person sitting next to
Well,
us said, I don't want this. And I'm like,
The coffee at church is not the best.
Yeah.
That is actually where they do this dig up a pile
Hey,
of dirt.
we all go to church together.
We do.
We do.
Man.
Wow.
Wow, look at that, guys.
And we're all K-Life leaders.
We are all
wow.
K-Life
Wow.
leaders.
So much in
Wow.
common.
And we
Abby.
all live in Springfield.
Wow.
and we're all recording this podcast right now.
No way,
Wow.
Jose.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Abby, is there any last words of advice or wisdom you want to give the people?
No.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for listening to the Until Next Week podcast.
And remember, thank a local redhead.
Except
Or don't.
Yep. Or don't. See you guys.
Do it.